All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the third part of the show, we're going to talk about Darren Waller and him announcing his retirement. So he spent 2023 with the Giants, and he was a part of the Ravens and the Raiders, but he has called it a career. And actually, one thing that I was looking at with the article that I have here is he experienced a health scare in November, and he talked about, and this is what he was saying. He was on a podcast, and he said, in between each breath, I'm yelling out like help, so maybe I could wake the neighbors up, and maybe they'd be like, what is that? And they'd come through. I don't know how long the time was. It felt like forever, and I'm like, and yeah, he talked about that. He thought he was gonna lose his life. He said he was on the couch. And he said it was a very scary event. It was kind of similar to, he talked about, it was kind of similar to my overdose, just like the power plug just being pulled out, and I just couldn't breathe anymore. Oh, wow. And he also said, I come out of that experience, and I'm sitting in the hospital, and I go back into my daily life, and I'm like pretty clear, I almost just lost my life, and I don't know if I really feel like I would have died, that I would have felt great about how my life was going if I died at the time. Yeah, so I didn't realize that he went through this, but it also said how he spent 3.5 days in the hospital. He couldn't stand up and use the restroom or feed himself. Yeah, no, I didn't realize any of this. This is like the first time I'm hearing about this. So I think when you experience something like that, and you're playing a sport like football, yeah, I mean, and not only just that, but also just like injuries as well. I mean, I went through his injury history last week. Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is the first time I was hearing about this. So, yeah, that is a pretty scary situation there. So, you got to do what's best for you. As he probably, I mean, I think there's a part of you that probably still wants to play, but you got to choose your health at the end of the day. And yeah, so I like I said, I was not aware of this. So that is a scary situation. But there was some other stuff that he's gone through this offseason, of course. The situation with Kelsey Plum from the WNBA, and yeah, so it's just it's unfortunate, and you wish him nothing but the best, of course. With his future endeavors. But yeah, it seems like he has gone through a lot. Because I again with the health scare, I was not aware of that. But yeah, I mean Waller, he only going back to now the football side of things. 52 catches, 552 yards, and 1 touchdown in 2023 with the Giants. He was limited to 12 games. And the Giants brought him over to kind of be, that number one option, pass catcher, and really help Daniel Jones out. But it just never really happened. And at the time of the Giants making that trade, I was happy about it. I thought that he could definitely help the offense, help Daniel Jones. But there was also that part of myself and my friends as well where we thought, yeah, this is good, but it's only a matter of time before he gets hurt. And that's exactly what happened. And now the Giants got to, that's why they went out and they drafted a tight end. They signed a couple of guys. I mean, not guys that are notable names, Jack Stoll and Chris Manhertz. They drafted a tight end in the 4th round, Theo Johnson. But you got Daniel Bellinger there. You got Lawrence Cager. But yeah, I mean, there's no. I mean, Bellinger, I thought could be a good player, before they got Waller. So maybe he could take the next step. And Lawrence Cager made some plays for them when they made the playoffs. So I don't know. Maybe they get production out of that position. They surprise us, but. Yeah, you just were kind of hoping that Waller was going to be that player, and that just wasn't the case. But yeah, it's unfortunate. So Waller, he finished his career with 350 career receptions, 4,124 receiving yards, 20 touchdowns, and a Pro Bowl selection in 2020. And like I said, wish him nothing but the best in his retirement. It just didn't work out with the Giants. And he was a productive player with the Raiders for a couple years. I saw a video of him catching his first career touchdown pass, and that was back when he was with the Ravens. And that was when Joe Flacco was playing quarterback for the Ravens. So, yeah, I mean, at one point, he was... I said this last week. He was up there with Travis Kelce and George Kittle as like one of the top tight ends in the league. He was really that good. And when he came over from the Raiders to the Giants, I was saying to, my mom that this is going to be one of the best tight ends the Giants have had in years. But it just did not work out that way. And you know what? It happens. The Giants took a chance on him. It was one of the draft picks that they got in the Kadarius Toney trade, I believe. So, you basically traded Kadarius Toney for Darren Waller, and we were kind of hoping it was going to work out, but unfortunately it didn't. So, I mean, I don't think it's the end of the world for the Giants, but I mean, you were kind of hoping that he would be someone that can contribute for years to come, and help, whether it's Daniel Jones playing quarterback or our future quarterback or their future quarterback, whoever it may be. But that's not the case, and the Giants are going to have to figure it out, and they have. They saw the writing on the wall. That's why they went out and signed a couple of tight ends, and they drafted one. So, they were prepared for it. But, I think you were kind of hoping that maybe that was not the case, and Waller could come back and, give it another shot, have a better year. But it's not the case. So, but like I said, I wish him nothing but the best. And again, I was not aware of, his health scares that he had, and it's scary. It definitely is. And thankfully, he's okay because he was able to, talk about it. But yeah, you had no idea. That's some of the stuff that happens behind the scenes that you're just not aware of. So, and like I said, when you experience that and you play, you have the career that you have playing in a game like football, yeah, it's, you don't want something to happen on the field. Definitely don't. So, and like I said, he's going through some other stuff as well with the divorce. So, yeah, like I said, wish him nothing but the best. I wish things would have worked out better, for him and the Giants, and but that it was just not the case, and now you just hope that everything goes well in his retirement, and we'll see what the Giants do. Now, I mean, they had contingency plans for this, and I don't expect really any of the time. I mean, Daniel Bellinger, I think right now, you got to look at him as the tight end one, in my opinion, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But that's really all I have to say on the Darren Waller stuff. Again, he was one of the best tight ends in the league at one point, in the later part of the 2010s and the 2020s now. But yeah, that's it. He has called it a career, and like I said, like I've been saying constantly, wish him nothing but the best in his retirement. So let me know what you guys think about Darren Waller announcing his retirement. What's your favorite moment from his playing career? So, with that being said, we're going to take our third break of the show, and then when we come back, we'll talk about the Green Bay Packers. We'll comment on their wide receiver situation. Well, Jordan Love's comments on the wide receiver situation and why the Packers don't necessarily have to have a number one wide receiver in Jordan Love's eyes. So, we'll take our break, and then we will be right back. So stick around, and we will be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.